Liz, good afternoon. I'm thinking it was morning. How are you doing today?
I am good. I'm doing very well. Thank you. Thank you. And you?
I am, and as I was saying earlier, I am mellow, just mellow and just taking it easy. And I think today's going to be a good day, though. So I'm excited, mellow
Yes.
and excited. How have you been the past two weeks since I saw you last on here?
I have been good. I've been, doing I made my fourth quarter sales list and my to-do list for the next quarter to kind of make sure that I'm on track, and because it's October and before we know it, it's going to be November, and and then that's everything goes out the window because it's then the holidays. And this year it's going to be interesting. I think it's such a different year than anything we've been through before.
So how are you trending though?
For me, things are picking up. I'm concerned for my clients that, from as far as marketing goes, that they need to think now about what they're going to do for the fourth quarter. If they're going to, things are different. You're not, if people are in the office, you can't just go and decide at the last minute you're going to go pick up some cookies and drop them off at your
Correct.
clients' offices. And so everything has to be planned out ahead of time, and you have to, you want something that is unique, something memorable, but that something is, I think everyone wants something comforting this year, and no one wants PPE. I don't think for holidays you want to give out PPE, but I think it's just planning ahead and making sure that you're ready.
You could send the LV PPE that you put on your LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yes. Did you like that? Yes.
I saw it, and I there's a market for it
Yeah,
because
well, it's
they wouldn't have put it
luxury.
up.
Yeah, luxury PPE. Do you want, do you need your designer mask or your designer face shield, or,
I don't
I
know.
guess to give to someone who has everything, you give them
There
a
you
designer, a
there you
Burberry
go.
mask.
There
So
you go.
yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. So what I'm getting is, so you are preparing for Q4, which is the right thing to do. If you're
Mhm.
doing your sales, is not by the seat of the pants, you are planning and forecasting. I spent my Saturday, not my entire Saturday, just looking at where I've been for the past three quarters, looked at the numbers, and just what strangely, I looked at the numbers and said, okay, better. It's better than last year at this time. I've blown it out of the water, and I'm thinking now for the next 3 months, Q4, what am I going to do differently? Or I'm not different because I've been doing it well, but what can I improve, tweak, maintain so that I can keep the upward trend? Right.
Right.
So
And to prepare fourth quarter is also so that you're starting off January, ready to go. So it's finishing the year strong, but also setting everything up so that in January, hopefully you can coast a little bit in January.
correct. So we started. How are you doing? And you say it, and all of a sudden we're in the conversation, right? And if you missed it, team, it is plan ahead. Plan ahead. Look at the parameters that you are operating in. We're operating in a pandemic, so you can't knock on the door to get cookies. You have to plan ahead to see
Mhm.
what your needs are and get it done. And
I think too, if you start, like I start with the where I want to end up. So, if you say that you want to hit your clients up, the second week of December before they go into holiday mode. So you work backwards from there, and that will give you, when do I need to start planning for this, based on the date, if you want to hand stuff out, or if you want to give a gift or a card that arrives on December 1st, when do you have to have that printed and ready to go?
wow. Some of these things are second nature to you. You do it, but to others, they are. Why we're doing this, right? To give the tips, to give the lessons learned of years of doing this, and reverse engineering to make you be successful. What's on your mind, Liz? What's on your mind other than that? What's on Liz's mind today? What before this, we don't plan when we're talking. We know we'll come in here and talk about selling success, but I'm pretty sure something sailed through that mind.
Yeah.
What's on your mind?
Well, for people like Wulwyn and a couple other of my clients, everyone suddenly wants these awesome shirts done with their name on it. And so I've had a couple of other clients ask me for some shirts because I've been thinking a lot about image, and whenever you see your clients, whether it's even in an email, how
Mhm.
is your signature on your email? Make sure that it's in line with your product and your branding all across every avenue. So now most of us are virtual. So if you're going to be on Zoom calls, what are you wearing? What is that reflecting your brand at the time?
Correct.
But even I have a client who he's getting ready for a couple of in-person events, like a golf tournament. And I said to him, I said, you need a tablecloth. Your table has to look professional when people come up to it. So he's a safety. He's into his
Uh-huh.
business is safety, personal
Uh-huh.
safety. And so we're doing a neon yellow, like a safety yellow tablecloth. And I'm like,
Gotcha.
no one is going to miss that,
Uh-uh.
So
Uh-uh.
say it loud if you're going to say it. But just explaining to him that, yeah, does he have a name tag, or does he have a shirt with his name on it? Does he have the tablecloth, so that everything is uniform and is projecting his image the whole time?
Yes, yes. Strange. Good you said that because at the very first thing I did, maybe the second or third, I got a name tag, right? In fact, where should the name tag be? Should it be on the left or the right?
I think it's a personal preference. I
It's a
don't.
personal preference because some people go because I read if you put it on one or the other, when you go and shake hands, it
Oh,
it goes away and it moves. So there's some signs to it. But anyway,
but now no one's shaking hands anymore, so it doesn't. So
that's
if
a
you do
good
an
one.
elbow, I guess you're covering up it anyway. So
Did you crazy, Liz? That's a good one though. But I put my name and the name of the business, and under it I put, how can I help you today? Right? You put,
mhm.
because you can personalize it. I put that on, and every single time I wore it, I would wear it. They would, oh man, that's excellent. And it represents your business. And that's just as you were saying, and talking about the shirts. Uh, you after we did this, I I'm talking to a client, and I go, did you see the Selling Success show? And he's like, yeah, I did. I said, okay. I said, let me show you something that you need in your business. And it's not, this is what collaboration does for small businesses, or even big, for business, period. I went in the closet, got it on the hanger, and showed it to him, and I stretched it, and it didn't stretch right. And I was like, do you see what this does? He said, man, that's excellent. And I go, what do you think? He says, I need that. I say, I know you need that. So let me show you. Let me point you to where it's branding. It's your success. There are building blocks to it that when you present yourself, there's not a whole lot of talking. There's not a
Right.
whole lot of I am an excellent brand. I represent this, versus coming in with that collar. Go ahead, Liz.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and it's subconscious, a lot of it. Like, I think if your shirt has your name on it, then that shows that you're here to stay. You didn't decide yesterday to start this business, that it just shows that your business is solid. And the same thing with your display. If you have a tablecloth and a pop-up in the back, it just shows that you took the time, and that your business, it solidifies your business, everything that you do.
This People, this is not a a QVC show to sell genuity concepts. This is so not, but I'm telling you, there are things popping up in here that I can't control. And Liz, after this, be like, well, we were supposed to stay on task. Nah, I'm not going to stay on task, Liz. Tablecloths. I need a tablecloth. I know we I know, I'm sorry, but this is selling success. This is what it's about. Uh, I know I will have to go on display when when COVID stops, right?
Mhm.
And I think my business is a bit conservative with the way I have it. I need a tablecloth, a round one, right? That I can a crescent that will come down and we'll talk. Mm, I'm
Yeah,
excited.
but I think all those things, like when you think about when you go to an event, the people that have their tablecloth and their everything on the table is laid out and matches and has a purpose to it, you're drawn to go to that table.
Correct.
Someone who looks like they don't even have a tablecloth, they just threw their stuff up there, and you might not go, you don't really know what they're all about, you know. So it's just all, and a lot of it is, like I said, it's subconscious, you don't even realize, but that's part of that first impression.
And it's not $1 million.
No.
It's not $1 million.
Yeah.
It's taking it, thinking it through, and executing on it.
Yeah.
Ha ha. What's on my mind? Here's what's on my mind. I had a client last week, a digital marketer, and he is killing it, right? Got a 5-figure contract, 23,000 contract, and he's completing the contract, and I'm asking him. So we're in the PM phase where I'm helping him and just saying, let's see how we go through. And I said, how are you delivering this? And this is all about selling success. It's about setting yourself up for that next sale. He goes, well, I've done the website. I go, okay, you've done the website. What's next? He says, well, I'm just going to give it to him. I said, no, you can't just give it to him. Go ahead and and present it to him. Get a deliverable, a PowerPoint. And because he did some Facebook ads, he did a couple other things for him, graphics. Set it up and list all of these things you've done for him. Have the results of the Facebook ad in the PowerPoint. Have the results of all the different aspects of the engagement. Take the website snapshot. So here's the website. Tell them the technology you utilized, how you can edit all those different things if need be, because I want you to sell the service of maintenance. And at the end, do recommendations. When you do the recommendations for your next option, so you upselling and or cross selling, have the contract embedded, the link to the contract, so he goes and reviews it and signs it, and you got continual business. That's sales coming in. So individuals. So what's on my mind? Individuals who have businesses that it's a product or a service. We tend to think the insurance or the person who comes and sprays the yard. They spray the yard and say it's done, and they go. Take pictures of where you're spraying. Take pictures of these things. Put it. Do a presentation and say, "Here you go." That that says a lot about your business.
Right. And also then you also say your, like you said, your recommendations. Like, I recommend to keep your yard beautiful every quarter. I need to come back and do this, you know, and that's, and I think that anyone who's in business, whatever you're selling, you believe that you know what's best. People say to me, well, you're the expert, so tell me, what do you think, you know, and then
Correct.
you can make your truthful recommendation to them on what they need to do. But I agree with you that it's all in
Mm.
the presentation. And I think people just assume that your client remembers everything you've done for them, but they're doing 100 different things. And if you can lay it all out for them and say, you're not bragging, you're just trying to lay it all out so it's all in one place for them, make it into a presentation in PowerPoint, or now Canva is great, or whatever you're going to use, and you send it as a finished product, it's gonna have so much more impact.
How do you present yours at the end? How do you present your deliverables?
So if someone said, oh, I want a tablecloth or whatever, you know, I have a system that I can do a proposal in, but
Mhm.
I might do the proposal, and then I'll always do, at the same time, I'll do a virtual where it shows them what it will look like, their finished product with their logo on it, and what
Mhm.
I recommend for the background color or whatever. But just giving them that visual of what their product anyone who gets their logo on something and you see it, you just love it because
Correct.
that's you designed that logo. So so it just anything that you think that people can just imagine it, but if you give it to them that way, it has so much more.
Mm, got
To
you.
take care.
So let me dig a little deeper. You you create the tablecloth. When you're mailing it to them, what's the pomp and pageantry with the packaging? What do you do with that? Or does it come directly from?
It usually comes directly from my supplier, but it's also if that happens, I will always follow up and just say, I want to make sure that it came exactly the way that we had it laid out. Please let me know if there's other projects too that I can help you with in the future. But I'll ask them. I'm like, can you, when you're at your event, will you take a picture of the tablecloth and send it to me so that I can, or will you tag me on social media?
Ah,
So I love to have the pictures of them using the product in person.
perfect. Wow, interesting, interesting. Um, I I'm reading I'm not reading a book now, but remember we said that, whatever we're reading, we can come and bring it in.
Mhm.
And I looked up on the shelf, the bookshelf, and I saw this. Have you read this before?
I have not read Purple Cow. No.
Seth Godin. He is the man. And I think I just want to share there's one thing here, one or two I want to share and want to hear your view on it, right? And it's so page 87, the parody paradox. Not going to read all of that, but at the end he has, there's a couple questions about your business, about your sales, your branding. How could you modify your product or service so that you would show up on the next episode of Saturday Night Live or in a spoof of your industry's trade journal, right? Then the other one I'm going to give it one at a time. How could you modify your product? And I'm not talking about your product list. You've been around for quite a while and you've seen a couple of things, and even you told me about the polish.
Mhm.
Your dad being so regimented rather in, I want to make sure this thing is better. I'm tweaking it, I'm making it better. What does this do for you in business, modifying your product or service so that it's not getting viral, but it's being successful, getting more sales? What's
Yeah.
what's your take?
I mean, I think it's knowing your product inside and out and just being able to know all the shots coming at it too. So what are things that could go wrong? What are things that people could look at and say and give you the objections towards? So I
Mhm.
think it's knowing your product and constantly trying to make it better, and just by adjusting and following the not the advice of other people, but listening to the feedback and knowing your job is to know when that feedback is good or when that feedback is not necessary. So I think that's part of it too.
As you were as you were speaking, two things came: voice of the customer, which is very important to business.
Mhm.
Don't ignore it. And the second one was thought. Properly, taking the time for visioning in your business, taking
Mhm.
your time to truly stop and think, how can I make this better? And it's just as you said, when you don't please don't run over, don't tell a dog we're okay, tell them we're okay, and they can keep on barking because that's life at home.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to get upset, that it's on you. Keep on barking, boys. um, when you write these things down, as you said, the customer forgets it and he doesn't know, she doesn't know what you've done for her. Similarly, we forget all the different things that we do, the different processes that we go through to come to create a service or a product. When you can write those things down about, what are the attributes of my product? How can I make them better? And then you really spend time thinking about it. The,
Mhm.
the power of the mind is
I think even if you're
infinite.
not going to send it, way back when was with Cape Cod Polish. That was before the internet, and I
Mhm.
had to actually physically write out and mail out all my press releases we got written up in probably 25 magazines. I'd send a sample along with a press release, and the press release was pretty much the bullet points of all the attributes of my product. So if you can just write down the bullet points of what makes your product great, it's going to give you that confidence again too, of reminding you why you're great. And then also it's just a great list to have for when you have objections come
That's
forward.
wow, wow. This business thing is not hard. We make it hard. We tend to think it's nuclear science. It's service somebody, give value to somebody. Just I'm not I'm gonna get the next point.
I just also wanted to say too that I think one thing that's really hard is, I was on the call with someone the other day,
Uh-huh.
and she was talking about, she did a event. They did all this work to have it in person, which I think it might be a little early for that, but they did all this work and they advertised it
Mhm.
on social media, and no one showed up, and so I would take that information like, okay, we need to make some changes, obviously, like this didn't work. But
Correct.
I think they also thought they worked so hard that they're just going to do it again. And it's like, you're going to probably get the same result if you just do it the same way again. You need to take that, you should have learned things from what you just did. And even
Correct.
though you worked really, really hard, it's a stepping stone. It doesn't mean that you failed right now, but what did you learn from that, and how are you going to step up to the next level?
The reason why I'm laughing, I 4 years ago I did a a, a free workshop at Fuquay Community Center, and I opened had the PowerPoint done. Went, put the TV on, connected the PowerPoint to it, had the seats properly laid, the room laid out, and I'm sitting and waiting. 6:30, 6:45, 6:50, 7, nobody. I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? And it's a shot to your ego, right? About 30, 45 minutes. So I had it so that it would be a rolling meeting, a rolling workshop. It was a 30-minute presentation, and so I picked from about 6 o'clock to 8. And at 7:30, someone came in, boom, and sat. And I go, oh, are you are you here for are you here for this? She said, yeah, I am. Okay, let's go. The lesson from that was, don't be ready, be ready. Be ready for it. One. Two, had nobody come, and I still did another one, and it grew, right? And what was the problem with that one? I learned my customer segment wasn't in that area. They
Mhm.
weren't. It's just not where I should have gone to have this workshop. Whereas some people, as you're saying, they're adamant, I am going to do it. I worked so hard on this, and this is what I'm going to turn. So the ability, and I think we talked this two episodes ago, the ability to pivot, the
Mhm.
ability to turn, to go and create. Why are we going to the book a lot today? Today we're mellow. I don't like mellow. I want us kind of wild, but
I told you we needed to do jumping jacks at the
we,
beginning.
we we did. But hey, as we said, trust the process. Keep going. It's not in the delivery. I think it's the content, and the content. I think the content. Not because we're doing it. I may be biased, but there are some pretty good content coming out in this one. She's looking like, yeah, Wallen, sure. Um, the next one is, do you have the email addresses of the 20% of your customer base that loves what you do? If not, start getting them. If you do, what could you make for these customers that would be super special?
Well, I mean, 20%, your top 20% is 80% of your business, right? Is what they say. So I think that is that top 20%, let's just say it's 20 clients or 10 clients, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is. Those are your VIPs. Those are the ones that I don't care what time of day or night it is. If they email or call me, I'm picking up. I not only have their email address, I have their cell phone number programmed into my phone. But I know when they call or text me, I know exactly who it is. But those are I want them to feel like they're the most important, clients, which they are because they're giving me the most of my business.
Correct.
So I think anything you can do, whether it's everything from like responding quickly to their request or their email and just following up and knowing some of my clients prefer text, some of them prefer email, some of them prefer phone, knowing that about them too. So you're not, if they don't check their email very often or never respond,
Mm-hmm.
why are you emailing with them? If you text them, they're going to respond right away. Then I have one client, I have to put something not work related first to get him to respond, and then I can put the question in after that. But he won't respond if I just ask the business question. So
Wow.
I've learned how each client, how they are and what they like and the way they like to communicate. So yeah.
That's you just explained. There's a book called I gotta look at it. One second. Network Referral of a Lifetime. Tim Templeton, right?
Mhm.
And what you just described was what he described in there. There are four types of people in business. There's the business, there's the business relational, there's the relational, and the relational business, right? And you have to morph. You have one of those. You're one of those, but based on who your client is, you have to morph to that particular piece. Some just want to go straight to business. Others want to, as you said, let's talk about the birds in the sky, the butterflies, and then we go into business. Others, they do not want to discuss business. They just want to discuss the kids, the dog, and okay, take care, bye. And then they make the purchase.
Yeah.
They already know. That's personality types. And we can even move that to another level in selling where, as you said, the personality type does not want to be texted. They want to be emailed or they want to be called. And if you have there's convenient engineering within business where you have to understand how your channel and your relationships work. Because if you are um, a texting client I have, and I go and I call you, that sale isn't going to work, right?
Hmm.
It's not going to work. So find out who these individuals are, how they want to be engaged, and you engage with them. I had a talk yesterday, and I want to pause here. Any thoughts on what I was saying?
Yeah, I mean, no, I think that's exactly right. And I think it's going back to that 20%, you might have a client who only gives you a small order of a year, but yet every time you email them, they respond. And you think of that as being also a win,
Right.
but you have to be disciplined. And yes, you can send them an email every once in a while, but just because they respond doesn't mean that they're going to be in that top 20%. So
Mm,
that top 20% might be harder. It might be more difficult they might not reply every time you contact them, but you know that when they're ready, they're going to place that order, hopefully, so but it's that discipline of not just reaching for that low hanging fruit that, like, oh, I can get this little tiny order from them. If you're going after the bigger guys, you
yep.
got that 20% that's giving you all your business. You have to pivot and be there for them.
Mm, mm, mm. Interesting. Interesting. Now, how does data play into your success?
I have, you mean as far as like systems and processes kind of?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I have a system that has a CRM built in. I think everyone needs you need some sort of system, like you said, to capture email addresses, to show you, your history with them, what they've done in sales, where they stand, if you can print reports and show who that top, because you might not even know some of your top 20%. You might be surprised when you print that report and you see that here's my list of my top clients. There might be someone that isn't your favorite person, and yet there they are on that list, and now suddenly they're going to be a favorite person. So I think it's important to have all those stats easy to pull up when you need them.
Yes. So, you again, we're talking, I'm seeing a trend of writing it down. Write it down. We said write it down you're when you're trying to rethink your business. Write it down the attributes of your business. Here again is a type of write it down in terms of the data is written, capture the data. The other write it down piece was plan ahead. Write it down to plan ahead, to reverse engineer. When am I going to start sending those things out? When do I have to start telling them? You 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 get surprised when you look at the report and run the data. Had a restaurant as a client, and let's find out who are the best customers. This 20%, and we're looking at the data, and he goes, "Oh my goodness!" And just what you said about not it wasn't that he didn't like them. It's like, wow, this guy every Thursday he hits me up and he buys. This was a Rosati's pizza shop, right? So one of those pizzas weren't cheap. He This person would buy Chicago style pizza every he had he was on schedule. And I said, hey, why don't you, before the guy calls, and this is going to be risky, before the guy calls, prepare his pizza, and he does the identical pizza every time. Prepare the pizza because it takes an hour plus for it to be prepared. Prepare it, and when he calls, say it's ready and done. I'm not sure if he took my advice, right? Because it's kind of risky. Maybe the guy
Yeah.
gets sick today, but can you imagine you see that trend, and it's every time this person is hitting you, hitting you, hitting you.
Mhm.
Do you know what kind of customer satisfaction that is when the person says, it's ready? I can drop it to you now. You can come and pick it up. That you just got a customer for life. But
Yeah. Or
bottom
even just doing those little extra touches, like, when they call, their name, and you say, oh, your, double cheese pepperoni pizza is, I have it ready for you. Or, adding extra, free, whatever it is. Thank you for your loyalty. Here's a
Mm,
free dessert or whatever it would be, but just something small that even show that you notice and that you care.
and it's not expensive.
Mhm.
It's These purple cows aren't expensive in business. They're not. It's you just thinking about it and putting it in place. So I had a friend who flew. I asked her, I said, what's your favorite airline? And she goes, I think it was Emirates. And I go, why? She goes, oh, Wulwyn, have you flown with them?
Mhm.
She says, Wulwyn, when I'm taking these long trips, before I eat, they come and bring warm towels
Mhm.
for me to wipe my hands. And these things aren't you. You don't have to get the plushest towels.
Right.
You don't have to get the plushest towels. You can get a good towel, hot water, warm it, putting it in a warmer,
Mhm.
walking it around and just giving it to the person. That builds a customer for life. That's a a
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, well, there's a local spa, and they have on the when you walk into the room, there's a
Mhm.
little sign that just has your name on it when you walk into the room. It's a piece of paper that says Liz when I walk in. But yet, I don't know, it's sitting there on this little stand, and I feel so special that it's got my name on it, you know?
It's coming down from the at the airport, and this person is there with your name on it, like, me. There's something about your name, right? And you're like, they put my
Yeah,
name on it?
yeah. So it's those, I think, it comes down to that attention to detail, which is
Attention to
is all is all connected in sales. It's that first impression, attention to detail, doing those little things that are gonna, and you think everyone thinks like, oh, everyone does that. Everyone, but they don't. They really don't. So that's, if you want to separate yourself from the other 90% of people that do what you do, find a couple of small little things that you can do that's going to differentiate you.
separate. So I'm taking notes. Separate yourself. Differentiate.
Well, we're going to have to do a whole call just on picking up the phone. Like, I think the phone is such taboo now in today's world of picking up the phone and making either a cold call or a follow-up call, or
Mm.
asking, I sent you that proposal, making sure you received it. Are you ready to place an order? People, like, I think, are so afraid of the phone. It's like you're always interrupting them, so you text someone instead. I'm just a phone person. I just like,
Wow.
I like, you can tell their tone, whether it's good or bad. You can tell the tone on the phone a lot faster than you can obviously in an email or a text.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this right now with us on air. This thing that you said, can you bear with me?
Hmm.
Can you bear with me? Let me just do it. So I'm calling this guy 2 years ago. He runs the electrical shop, and I haven't called him. I email him, and nothing happens. I'm gonna call him right now. I'm not gonna put it on because I don't want him to just. I'm just gonna see what happens. And if he doesn't answer, I'm just gonna to prove this thing that you were saying. And then we'll come back and find out what happened. Next time when we're doing this, it's hi Brad. This is Wulwyn. We met a year or so ago, and we interacted a bit at a couple of meetings. Just thought about you, returning a call, see how's the business coming on, man. Give me a call back, 919-436-6041. Take care and bye.
Yeah.
Just pick up the call, pick up the phone, right? Oh my goodness.
If you did three of those every day, can you imagine? If you did that 3 times a day, every day.
And I become front of mind.
Hmm.
And he knows we are, his business, yes, but he thought about me, he called me.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
Liz.
what I do then is, then after I make a call, if I get voicemail, I leave a message, and then I follow right up with an email saying, "Hey, I just left your message," and then I just kind of leave a email, so then it's solidified on just, I can put my big message or whatever I wanted to say to them. I can kind of follow up with an email right away and say, I'll give you a call back next week, but in the meantime, if you need to get in touch with me, here's my information. But
How was that message that I left?
I thought it was perfect. You're
Was
just
it?
checking in. I
Okay.
think you have to be careful because you don't want to put too much out there, you're just trying to, all you're trying to do on a phone call is get them to call you back and set up, really the point is to set up a meeting. That's all you want, so that you can then tell them what you need to talk to them about. But I think people think that on the phone they're going to have to tell their whole life story and
Correct.
sell something. But you're just asking, do you have 15 minutes for us to set up a quick call to talk about how we can work together, or how I can help you, or learn more about your business? And you're just trying to get that meeting or that call.
Liz, this, I tell you, this was so liberating just now. It, people think it's hard. People
Mhm.
think it's, but when you do it, the only thing I can liken this to is high school, the girl you like or the boy you like, and you're like, if I say hi, if I speak, if I talk, and you go, hi, oh, hi, how are you? I'm good. I've been looking, me too. You too? Really? It's a tool and it's so personable.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes if I'm really nervous, I'll just say, my point of the call is just to find out who the person is that I need to talk to. So I will call, and you're going to get I call it the gatekeeper or the office manager. And you just say, could you tell me who is the person I need to talk to for your promotional products and your marketing? And then either they'll say, oh yeah, let me connect you, or they'll give me their name and their email. So it's not even like you're just trying to find out. That first call is just to get information. Who is it that I'm supposed to? So you're not talking this whole thing to the wrong person,
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as far as making the call, it's called eat the frog. Have you heard the expression eat the
No,
frog?
no, no. Talk about it.
Eat the frog.
This is a wait, 1 second, 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a prelude to our next episode where it's pick up the phone. So
Yeah.
go ahead, eat the frog.
So eat the frog is it's making cold calls is hard, and no one's saying it's easy, but you have to eat the frog to be successful. You have to make those calls. And so either you eat the frog in one big bite and you just do it, or you're going to take little bites and it's going to, it's going to take forever. So you just have to just eat the frog and pick up the phone. So I brought my book, that my favorite selling book that we can talk about next time, but it's oh, can you see it?
Put it right in front of your chest. There
Yeah,
you go.
Fanatical Prospecting.
Jeb Blount.
And this book is like the handbook on how to prospect and the importance of your pipeline and how to make a phone call and how to do social media. Like, it goes through everything step by step, and it's all about the importance of your sales pipeline. That's you have to have sales. It's not about what you're doing right now, it's about prepping for the next orders.
What's the last name? Jeb. What's his last name?
Blount, Blount.
So we have but 2 more minutes. Can you turn to a page in there and just you got the
So
last word.
I highlighted, just even like in this is one of those books that I swear I call it like my playbook. Like, I could just take, there's chapters on telephone calling, there's chapters on like on email, how to write the right email, how to social media. But I wrote down from even just in the forward, it says, there is no easy button in sales. There is no magic bullet or secret sauce. No one sales tool, gimmick, or mystical new process guaranteed to fill your pipeline. The truth is that top producers and sales superstars are fanatical prospectors who take personal responsibility for identifying and creating their own sales opportunities. So, there's no, when people tell you, oh, I have this perfect solution, you just have to do this one thing. No, it's the whole process. It's if someone tries to sell you that there's one, easy solution, don't buy it. I don't believe it.
And this is where Liz drops the mic. And that, oh my goodness, what a perfect way for us to end this. 1, 2 is a perfect way to preview next the next 2 weeks, right? What's gonna come. Prayerfully, I can buy that book. And who knows? We don't know how this show goes. It just might become a book club and we be going through the book and be talking about our experiences with it and going, but we don't
It's
know.
a great audio book too. But I recommend the physical book so that you can take notes in it and highlight, because there are parts in it that you're gonna want to, like in the even in how to write an email. You can just take things out of there and just use them when you're gonna write an email. And and the magic, that the golden hours, it's called, those hours where you should just be prospecting and
Mm,
not filing the papers on your desk. Those,
correct.
it's about the things that are going to move your business forward. So, yeah, great book.
Liz, we said it was mellow and we needed to take jumping jacks and push-ups. Nah, we really didn't. We just needed to come and talk. It's not based on how we're feeling. It's just based on the value we're given. And I know I received value from this today. And thank you. Thank
Yes,
you
thank
so
you.
much.
Well, I'm very proud of you for making your phone call. So,
Hey,
I,
hey,
hey,
that's
in 2 weeks, I want to hear how you made. That would be five. You should have 30 phone calls by in 2 weeks. So,
okay. I'll do it.
okay.
You put me on blast. Okay then, Liz. Have
Okay.
a good
Thank you.
one.
Bye
Thanks
bye.
for watching.